And already our bodies kind of taking on some gratitudes. We're grateful for anything that we got to do over the last couple of days. We're grateful for the technology that we have that can connect us. Grateful for these lungs that work as well as they do for us. Enjoying these good deep breaths in and out. Grateful for any decorations that are around us that kind of remind us of the holiday joy, that season. And today, the big gratitude that will lead us into our class is the gratitude of our supportive systems. So these are the neck, the shoulders, the wrists, the elbows, all of these supportive systems that don't always get the credit that they deserve for all that they do. It's funny how usually we don't appreciate something until suddenly we can't have it. So that's very true. You know, it's very obvious how grateful we are of our thumbs. And if suddenly we hurt our thumbnail or something, we squished and broke a thumb or something like that, we would obviously be able to do significantly less. But sometimes we don't appreciate all the intricate things that our wrists do, or our elbow, shoulders, neck, all of these areas, until suddenly they start aching for us. And so today, in just a tremendous act of gratitude for those supportive systems, the joints that support all the muscles, with that idea of gratitude toward those systems all over the body, even ankles, to lead us into the class, we're going to help to stretch and just support those areas. And so with that idea to lead us on, let's begin with the knees coming into the chest. Taking a couple of nice circles for the hips and the low back. Already grateful for these joints, for all that they do. Without a spine, we'd not be able to move very much. So now from here, as we begin to release our feet down back to the ground into a bridge pose, we will have our hands on the floor and we'll have a little bit of engagement in the inner thighs so that the knees won't splay open when we start to lift. So then with hands on the floor, begin to lift the tailbone up and then rise up one vertebrae at a time. At the highest spot, if you can clasp hands under the back or even walk shoulders under, feel absolutely free to take those variations. And as we're lifting muscularly as high as we can, notice how the neck gets to enjoy this gentle stretch. This kind of compression in the neck is very helpful for the thyroid and even the cervical spine. So we're giving it a couple more breaths for the neck, but just enjoy how nice it is to include some strength through the legs as well. Taking 2 more full breaths here. After that second breath, we can release the clasp of the hands. The next pose will be fish pose. So if you wanted to place the hands flat right under the glutes and then come to lower the glutes directly there, you'd already be set up for fish. Extend the legs long, and I like to kind of do a little crunch to prop myself up on the elbows, squeeze the elbows together behind. And then from here, lift the heart up super high, rock the head back. We're touching just the crown of the head onto the floor if that's possible. Feel how this in the neck is the exact opposite stretch. So feel the vertebrae getting a chance to move to that other direction. Another 2 breaths. And try to lift the head up without any sort of neck pressure. We'll widen the elbows, lower down onto our backs, and then free out the hands. So from here, once we're down on our back again, clasp the hands behind the head, And we're going to once again lift the head up. Now it's to just a normal neck stretch. So just appreciate the backside of that neck, how good it feels. Some of us will be holding in stillness, and some of us will be moving around just a little bit, easing into some of the tight spots. So whatever seems to be working for you, it's absolutely allowed. Another good breath in. And exhale, we can relax our head back down. Once it's settled and just supported by the earth, take the right knee into the chest. Clasping the hands around that right knee, try to see how much the right knee can get pulled in close to the right shoulder. Starting to open up different areas in the hips and in the legs. As we start to extend this leg upward, you can either make this about a stretch for the hamstring, trying to pull that leg in tight, or you can make this about the ankle joint. Maybe just rocking that ankle, rolling the foot in circles. So whatever feels most helpful for your supportive systems here, that's fine. Good. As we start to re-bend the knee, we're going to send this right knee to a twist to the left. We'll set up the right arm in a shoulder stretch, so right arm is reaching out to the right as the knee is twisting to the left. Now, let's be conscious about our neck. Let's make this twist largely about the neck. So at least once or twice, you're going to take a full breath, pointing the head to each direction, over to the right side, over to the left side. Pausing there at least a breath. If you want to continuously rock the head about that pace, one full breath in and out, and then switch in and out, that's fine. Or if you can set up your shoulders and your head in a way that gets you to just hold in a good neck stretch, that's also fine. So totally up to you exactly where this ends up, but extra consciousness about how this pose can affect the neck. Good, so one more deep breath in. And exhale, the right hip returns to the ground, extend the right leg long. Left knee comes in, give it a hug, pull it in. Trying to see if that left knee wants to get close to the left shoulder on this side. Eventually extending the leg upward. This can be a hamstring stretch, or it can be kind of that ankle roll, moving all around through those tight spots. Good, rebend the knee, send the knee to the twist. Left arm is reaching out to the left. And again, take at least a breath or two to each side. And then you get to choose what you're doing, movement or stillness in a perfect angle for the neck. One more breath in. And exhale, hip to the ground, slide this leg long. When the legs are resting long on the earth, reach the arms up overhead. We'll take the banana stretch. So right ankle over the left, and then leg scoot off to the left side. Grab onto right wrist, and scoot the arms and shoulders off that left side. Everything's a banana to the left. Start to feel where you're enjoying the stretch. Hip, ribs, shoulder. And take at least a moment to be active. So you're trying to push the wrist against the clasp and the ankle against the clasp. Notice how that slightly changes the stretch. And then you can either stay with that activity or go back to the passive stretch. One more inhale on this side. Exhale, release back through the center. We'll start to take the banana to the other. So left ankle over, legs to the right. Holding on to left wrist, shoulders off to the right. Start to enjoy what is receiving this on this side. Good, one more inhale. And exhale, let's make our way back onto the middle of the mat. Once you're here, let the legs go upward toward the sky. Hands are happy to help out. And let each ankle have another chance to just roll out for a moment, loosening up any of that ankle and foot stress. Heading from this toward happy baby, the knees start to bend out wide. Slide the hands toward ankles or toward outside edges of feet. And this can be with stillness, this could be with rocking, straightening and bending, whatever intuitive movements your body would love to take right now. Another deep breath into the belly. Exhale as legs come back together. Let's work our way up toward a seated place. We can roll like a ball a couple of times or just come directly up to cobbler, your choice. Whenever we're ready to be up, bottoms of feet are together. As we round forward into cobbler, let this be about the back of the neck, getting a chance to just relax over. So let the head be as heavy as possible, just kind of weighing down the rest of the spine in the stretch. Imagine your back to being like a baby where you don't have enough strength to lift up your head. So from that heaviness, start to drop the right shoulder downward, and then the head kind of just rolls over toward that right side. So then pause right there, getting that extra neck stretch on the left side. Nice and slowly roll back through the center. Going to the left, dip the left shoulder down, and then the head just rolls to that direction. Good, and then return back to the center, a few extra breaths. Head very heavy. Rolling the spine back up, no rush. Once we're up tall, the fingers can go behind us. Notice how if you squeeze the shoulder blades together, it kind of creates a little pillow so you have something to rest your head back onto. And then the head gets to stretch, the throat going open to the other direction. Continue to let the heart get pulled forward and through a slight arch. Good. Head gently lifts back up. And then we pick up the right shin. The left just gets to stay on the ground. We're cradling the right shin out, rocking the hip a couple of times, get into that joint. When the hip feels pretty good, we've got 3 options. The leg can be in cross leg, it can be in shin stack, or it can be in knee stack. Whatever allows both sitting bones to be down and the right leg is in front or on top. So from there, we can easily sit with no hands. So let's drop the left hand to the ground on that left side. Reach the right arm really high up to the sky, and then continue to lean to that left side. So feel the ribs, feel the shoulder, even the neck is completely relaxing toward that side. Good. When we start to rise, the right hand stays upward, and then we place the right hand at the base of the neck. Left hand grabs the elbow, pulls it midline. We should be feeling the tricep stretch on that right side. So if you're not feeling that, readjust the elbow higher, push the head back into the arms so that the head's not punching forward. Good. When we gently release, this right hand goes to the ground at that right side. Left arm leans long all the way over. And when we rise back up, the left hand comes to the low back, or maybe scooting up to the middle back, or sometimes it can go all the way up in between shoulder blades. Either way, right hand helps, grabbing wrist, grabbing forearm. Maybe it can inch its way to the elbow. We're opening up, this one nice and deep on the outer part of that left shoulder. So sometimes this one's nice to just drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Since the left arm is getting pulled so long, it can be a really good stretch for the whole neck and shoulder area. Good. When the head gently rises, we can try to see if we can connect the dots. Maybe the fingers, the right hand can reach up from above. If not, just grab onto 2 points of your shirt and set the top elbow to point up and the bottom elbow to point down. Good. Posture still tall. Make sure that you're feeling the tricep stretch and the shoulder stretch, both of those together. One more nice inhale. Exhale, begin to release the hands entirely. The fingers find the floor in front of us and continue to slide forward. Especially let the neck be heavy, trying to weigh it down. Maybe we're getting into that stretch on the back of the neck again. When we rise up, let's plant the feet in front of us, doing a few windshield wipers before we swap sides. You're welcome to take a few more. When this feels pretty good, this will be the right leg just resting down and then cradling out the left. You're welcome to do a few more rocks. When this hip feels okay, you've got the 3 options: cross leg, shin stack, or knee stack. Both sitting bones are down. You're always welcome to remove some flesh if that helps. Okay, this time right fingers are on the floor, left arm reaches up long, pointing to the sky, and then continue to lean. Good. Starting to rise. The left fingers go to the base of the neck. Grab the elbow, pull it midline, even push the head back. This one should be that good tricep stretch. Good. Gentle release. The left hand starts to plant to the left. Lean the right straight arm all the way up. Circle it over. Good. As we start to come back up, the right hand goes to the low back or to the middle back, or maybe in between shoulder blades. The other hand helps. So left hand at the wrist or the forearm or the elbow. This one for me, I'm right-handed, so this right shoulder gets so tight in this stretch. So give it a few breaths. Try to give it permission to relax. Maybe this one we're dropping the left ear to the left shoulder to help exaggerate the stretch. Good. When the head comes back up, let's leave that right arm. Maybe try to connect the dots. If that's not happening, that's okay. Just grab the shirt, 2 points of it. Set the top elbow to point up, the bottom elbow to point down. Do more deep belly breaths. And as we start to relax, drop the fingers in front of us, slide forward. Head gets to be dropped heavy. Okay, when we rise back up, we're going to come to a kneeling place. So on hands and knees. When we're there, the hips might want a little bit of attention, so you're welcome to take a moment to wag the hips left and right. Even the shoulders kind of being helped out by that. And then at any point that feels okay and you want to transform this into cat-cow, that's fine. Up and down. Don't feel any sense of rush, just less with our breath. One more full cycle of air in and out. Good, and then we'll go into a toe stretch. Try to tuck all 10 toes. We can start to sit some of our weight back. If you leave your hands on the floor like this makes it much easier, less weight on the feet. If you can handle your full body weight up right above the toes, this is okay. We're gonna be here for a little while. Keep the belly breaths going deep. And slow. Aim for another 3 deep, slow cycles. Only after the last one we can come forward. Either circle the toes out or gentle pounce for the feet. Good. When the feet are feeling pretty good again, tuck just the left toes. The right leg opens out to the right side, nice straight leg. And then when we come up to a nice high kneeling posture, we're going to start reaching the left hand for that left heel. And then with this right hand, we're placing it behind the back of the head and then pushing the head back into the arm. So this is stretching the pectoralis area, the shoulder area, and even the neck area, leaning back. One more breath, go all the way into the belly. Exhale, gently rise. We'll end up with our hands in front of us or even dropping down to elbows. I recommend trying to flatten the low back. So imagine those sitting bones, stick it back. Staying on elbows, try to walk your elbows a little bit closer to that right leg. And then for just a moment, get that left arm to stretch long over toward the right side. So this gets us a really long side rib and shoulder stretch. The other hand can still be elbow or a bit higher. One more good inhale. Then exhale, let's work our way back to neutral. Drop this right knee down on the ground underneath us. Tuck the right toes. Left leg gets to go long. We're up at that high kneeling place. Right fingers for the heel. And then left fingers behind the head. Push the head back open into it. Feel the pecs, feel the shoulder, feel even the neck opening out wide behind. Another good inhale. And take your time, exhale, rising up. Go down to the elbows. Try to flatten the low back area. Walking on the elbows a little bit closer toward the left side. And then the right arm takes a moment to stretch long into that left side. One more breath. And then come back through the center, knees down, take a cat and a cow. Good, walking the hands forward. We're in kneeling plank or lift up to full plank. As we lower down chaturanga, keep your neck long. And then as we start to lift to a back bend, some people crunch their head back in the back bend. So instead of that, keep your neck as an extension of the rest of your spine, your rib cage. So lifting the head up only to that point that feels good. No crunching in the neck. One more breath in. And exhale, back to child's pose for a moment. Let the head be heavy, try to rest down. You're welcome to stay here as long as it's still helpful for the back of the neck. At any point that you'd like to start playing with down dog, you're welcome to rise. And This will be a down dog where you stay as long as it's still feeling good. At some point sooner or later, you'll make it up to the top, but no rush. If you're pedaling through the legs a few times, that can really help loosen up some of the tightest spots. Whenever we're making our way up to the top, try to clasp your hands and then rest your pinky fingers on the base of the neck so that the hand can help weigh the head into a nice little stretch. One more full cycle of breath in and out. When we release our hands, we can rise up in whatever way is helpful, either circling the arms up or just kind of bending the knees and rolling our head up. You can always take a moment to bend the knees if you need that for the head. Good. And then once we're here, give yourself a chance to bring the backs of the hands together. Circle the hands up and back. When you go so far back that you can't touch anymore, rotate the thumbs outward and then reverse the way back up. Backs of the hands touch as soon as they can, and then we circle forward. So add the breath into this. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. And touch. A few more rounds. Two more cycles to each. Last one. Good. So here the right hand goes to the outer part of the right thigh, then the left hand circles up and over. Good, and return. Switch it out. Beautiful. When we're back up, we're taking eagle's arms. Right elbow is under the left elbow. We're gonna wind the palm if possible. Yep, a hug is fine. And we're giving it motion. So you can be twisting left and right. You can be lifting the elbows up and down. You can even kind of jut the elbows forward to pull the muscles in between the shoulder blades into a stretch. So a couple more breaths, just wiggle around anything that feels tight. Maybe the head rocks to one side and then to the other. Lots of freedom. Anything that's helpful. Beautiful. Bringing the big toes to touch, sit the heels back like we're sitting in a chair. Either stay here or bring the right thigh over for the eagle's wrap, single or double wrap. Good, straightening the standing leg. This right knee floats in front of us if the balance is there. If balance is okay, maybe the leg muscularly straightens out. And then sweep that leg behind us, any amount of warrior three, a nice high angle, or maybe 90 degrees. When you're ready, bend the standing leg, step that foot back. The heel and the toes are all resting. Elbows continue to float upward. Good, rising back up. Release the hands, clasp from behind. Make sure that front knee set up in a strong bent shape. So as we clasp from behind, start off with bent elbows today. And then as we continue to lean forward, you'll keep the elbows bent at first, trying to pull the arms away from you. If you can get to the point where you still want more after you've, kind of pulled the arms as far as possible, you can at that point start to straighten the elbows. Good. Hands lower back to the hips. Roll the spine up. Backs of hands touch together. We're facing to the front. Circle up. And then separate the hands. Rotate thumbs back to circle back. Inhale up. And forward. And then clasping the hands together, place the hands behind the head. As the head pushes back, the elbows pull wide, and we take just a slight arch to the spine. Mostly this is about shoulders and pectoralis muscles opening. Good, one more inhale. Exhale, the front leg now gets to go straight. Drop the hands to the thigh and sliding the hands down, maybe to shin or to floor. Once you get there, today let the head be heavy. Just dangling and releasing down. Bending that front knee until the hands can plant. We can set back for child pose, down dog, or maybe the flow. If you're doing the flow, remember neck is long. Keep it in that same line as the rest of the rib cage. As we lift up. And then into the down dog, the head gets to dangle. Sometimes I'll even shake my head yes and no, kind of making sure it's extra loose in the down dog shape. Good. You're welcome to stay here or at some point make your way up to the top of the mat. Clasping hands, key fingers to the base of the neck to pull the neck into a gentle stretch. And releasing hands, maybe bending the knees to roll up or just circling the arms up. Good. Hands to the heart, second side, left elbow under right. Take some time for that freedom. Elbows left and right, up and down. Head's leaning maybe. Elbows can jump forward or backward. Beautiful. Then head back up to neutral, big toes close. Sit the hips back, like we're in a chair. Maybe left thigh over. Straighten the right leg, maybe left knee can float in front, or kick the leg straight. And sweeping it under and through, any degree of warrior 3. Landing that back foot eventually. Once we're there, the front knee is bent. The elbows start to lift. And releasing the hands, clasp behind the back. The elbows are bent at first as we start to lean forward. And then pull the arms away. If you'd like to continue to straighten the elbows, that is fine. Drop the hands down, roll the spine up. Front knees bent one more moment, backs of hands together. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, rotate the thumbs back and down, and reverse. Good, clasp the hands together, clear the back of the head. Head pushes back to a slight back bend. Really, it's mostly about the elbows and the shoulders though. Good, one more inhale. Exhale, release, the front leg straightens, slide down it, pyramid pose. Whenever we get there, perhaps the head can just drop heavy. Using the front knee, the hands can plant. Step back, child pose, down dog, or maybe the flow. Remember the neck awareness, especially if we're doing the down dog. Good. Got one more little flow that's a bit more active. So we'll start here by floating right leg up. Step right foot in between hands. Back heel can rotate down. And then as we sweep the arms up, we're going to try to go to a nice little twist. So hooking the left wrist. If we need to pop back up onto the back toes, that can help with balance sometimes. If we can slide to the elbows, that's fine. Hands would be in prayer position. Remember, this is about the shoulders and that upper back part opening. So push the top hand down to help the shoulders wind. And if the balance is okay, maybe we even gaze up to get that slight neck stretch. Good. Gently unwind. You can sweep the arms up for a nice inhale. That's how rotate open warrior two. From the warrior two, the right hand will reach toward the base of the neck. The left hand will try to come from under. If that's too much, you can also just rest the left hand on that back leg. And then we point this right elbow up and lean toward the back of the mat. Good. Open back up, warrior two. And then try to reverse it. So left hand at base of the neck. Right hand's trying to inch its way up or just rest on the front thigh. Once we've got it, we're leaning laterally toward the front of the mat. Good. Open back up, warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down. Stepping back, child's pose, down dog, or a flow. Remember, long neck. And we've got one last side. So left leg floats. Step it in between hands. Back heel up or down, whatever helps the balance as we start to rise up. And then hooking that right wrist to left thigh. Maybe stay here or maybe slide down to the elbow. Remember, the shoulders want to open. So wind the spine, shoulder stacking. If that doesn't hurt the balance, maybe gaze goes up. Good. Unwind. Inhale up. Exhale, circle open, warrior two. Left hand to back of neck. Right hand tries to circle under. And then we lean to the back of the mat sooner or later. Good. Open back up, warrior two. And last side, right hand to base of neck. Left hand rests or circles. And then lean laterally to front of mat. Good. Open back up. Cartwheel down. Last chance if you'd like the flow. Otherwise, child pose or down dog are fine. Wherever we're at, kneeling plank or full plank. Lower all the way down to the ground one more time. Going into some nice shoulder stretches. So as we're on our belly, our right arm goes straight off to that right side. Bring the hand up to the point where the middle finger is about level with the eyes. So it's a little higher than normal. And then flip your right cheek to be resting down on the ground. The left hand is under the left shoulder. We press that hand into the ground. Maybe the hip stack. Maybe the top leg reaches to the ground behind us. And sometimes people even want more, and the left arm can start to circle around behind the back. So you get to choose that appropriate depth, whatever feels good for that right shoulder. And gently unwind yourself. Right away, we'll switch sides. So left arm out to the left. The middle finger is about level with the eyes. And then left cheek down. Press into the right hand. Maybe hip stack. Maybe top leg plants behind. Maybe that right arm even circles around the back. Whatever amount feels good. Beautiful. Returning down, we head into a moment with Sphinx pose, elbows under the shoulders. You find some activation, so the hands drag toward us, which just pulls the heart forward and through. Again, the neck is just a comfortable angle. And then from here, we begin to bring the hands, the forearms parallel to the front of the mat, right arm in front. And so once we've got that set up, the right hand goes to the right, the left hand goes to the left as far as both arms can go. I usually tuck my chin in before I rest my chin down onto the upper arm, just to make sure that I'm not gagging myself. And if you don't really feel anything happening in your shoulder blades, bump your elbows forward about an inch. Usually that's the perfect placement. Good, let's start to walk the elbows back in. Once they're in, kind of prop yourself up with the left hand so that the right arm can do a full circle. Take it clockwise and then one full circle counterclockwise. And then go over to the second side, one circle to each direction. And then we'll take our forearms to the second side when we're ready. So this would be left arm in front. Walk the right hand to the right, the left hand to the left. If you're not feeling anything, bump elbows forward an inch, and then tuck chin in to rest down. Good. When we start to walk back in, let's do one more of those circles for each side. So the right arm takes a circle clockwise and a circle counterclockwise. When you finish that side, you can do the left arm. And then we can take a moment with child pose, sitting the hips back. And our child pose, go right to the stretch, walking the hands off the left edge. Then off the right edge. And when we're back through the center, rest the forehead down, another full breath cycle or maybe two. From there, when we come up to a neutral tabletop spine, we'll take one last stretch for our wrist. So your right hand is rotating the thumb outward so that the thumb is pointing away and the middle finger is pointing toward the knee. When you got the hand placed down at that point, if you want more of a stretch, you'll back the hips backwards to any degree. For a lot of people, this just staying here is enough stretch, so that's fine. Going forward, we pick this hand up nice and gently, open and close the fist a time or two. Then we'll place the back of that right hand down. You've got the middle finger pointing toward the knee again. So from that placement, if this is enough stretch, just stay. If you need more, you can back the hips off toward the back of the mat again. Okay, when we release this one, pick it up, a time or two opening and closing. And then if it feels good to start rolling the wrist or even shaking the wrist out, that's fine. Whenever you feel ready for second side, we'll rotate the thumb to the outward, the middle finger toward the knee. And then from that placement, start backing your hips backwards if you need more. Moving forward, we can open and close the hand a time or two once we pick it up. And then last stretch, back of the hand down. Start to sink your hips backwards to the point where you're getting that wrist to a stretch. And when you're ready to pick it up, go nice and gentle, open and close a time or two. And then roll it or shake it. Good. By this point in class, if there's any last stretches your body would love to take, any seated stretches, any laying down stretches, take as much time as you need, a full minute or so, to do any of those last things that the body would love prior to Shavasana. No rush either way, just enjoying what the body's speaking to us. If we reach the point of Shavasana before others, my recommendation, use your hands to choose one last spot of your body to give a massage. So maybe your fingers come up to the neck and the shoulder area. You kind of massage through that tightness, or maybe you choose somewhere else. And just do it however long the body is asking for, until sooner or later, your arms are ready to drop down in stillness. So only when you reach that point, the rest of Shavasana is just about the breath. Letting our deep inhales be the support that our whole body needs, and exhales to release. begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually rolling over to a nice fetal position on one side. Enjoying 2 or 3 good breaths until you feel ready to rise. So as we join our hands together in front of our hearts, we have tremendous gratitude for all of our supportive systems. Our neck, our shoulders, our elbows, our wrists, all of these good areas in our physical body. And we also express gratitude for our support systems in other areas of our life. Maybe our family and our friends, or whoever or whatever it is that we can go to receive the comfort that we need, to receive friendship, to receive healing. And so it's this tremendous gratitude for our support structures to lead us on. Let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Inhale together now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.